Hello friends. If you were born on January 16th, you are far more than just a Capricorn. You are a tapestry woven from discipline, mystery, wisdom, and surprisingly tender desires. Beneath your cool exterior lies a fiery ambition, a romantic soul, and a brain that works 10 steps ahead of everyone else. Let's dive deep into what the cosmos, and the ancient stars, stones, trees, and numbers, have written just for you. Western Zodiac, Capricorn, January 16th. Born under the sign of Capricorn, guided by the austere and wise planet Saturn, individuals born on January 16th possess a rare combination of earthbound practicality and soulful complexity. You are not the average Capricorn, you are deeper, more introspective, and often far more mysterious than others born under this sign. Where many Capricorns aim to achieve, you aim to transform. The number 7, your numerological signature, infuses your earthy Capricorn nature with a sense of spiritual seeking. It adds an extra layer of insight, intuition, and often, solitude. You don't just want a career, you want a mission. You don't just want success, you want meaning. You feel older than your years, as if you came into this world already knowing that it was your job to carry a piece of the world's burden with grace. Your Capricorn sun gives you structure, logic, and ambition. But the influence of the 16th, ruled by Neptune through the number 7, makes you a visionary among builders. You may find yourself drawn toward philosophy, mysticism, or creativity, even as you build an empire with your bare hands. People may underestimate you because you seem reserved, but those who do are quickly surprised by your depth, strategy, and resilience. You don't follow paths. You carve them. You live by a quiet code. Integrity, purpose, legacy. While the world chases trends, you build things that outlast time. Love. To love at January 16th Capricorn is to peel back layers of armor, one patient, intentional moment at a time. You don't fall easily, and you certainly don't fall for charm or surface beauty. You watch. You listen. You read between the lines. Your approach to love is like your approach to everything else, measured, thoughtful, and deeply rooted in long-term vision. Your heart is like a locked vault with a treasure inside. Not everyone gets the key, and you wouldn't want them to. Love, for you, is not a momentary thrill. It is a sacred contract, a shared journey toward mutual growth and emotional mastery. You tend to attract lovers who are drawn to your sense of mystery, your strength, and your undeniable depth. But be warned, if they come with drama, chaos, or emotional instability, you quietly step away. You don't do turbulence. You seek emotional security, respect, and someone who can carry their own weight. In relationships, you are devoted and giving, but in your own way. You're not always physically affectionate in public. You may forget to say, "I love you," out loud every day. But you will show up. You'll remember their favorite coffee. You'll build them a life. You'll protect their dreams like they're your own. That's love, Capricorn style. You're attracted to people of substance. The ones who've been through something. The ones who don't flinch at pain, who understand silence, who see the world through a lens that isn't naive. You want someone you can grow with, and someone who respects your emotional privacy. Your soulmate will be someone who brings out your vulnerability, not someone who forces it, but someone who earns it. And when you're in love, you are loyal, enduring, and quietly intense. The type to remember everything. To build everything. To be someone's forever person, not just there right now. Pisces often catches your attention with their emotional sensitivity and mystical aura. There's something about their vulnerability that touches your hidden tenderness. Scorpio intrigues you with their magnetic force and depth. You recognize a fellow soul who's been through the fire. Taurus offers you peace, comfort, and sensual grounding. And Virgo may very well be the ideal match, sharing your values, understanding your quiet intensity, and respecting your path. But most of all, you need someone who understands your silence. Someone who knows that love is sometimes shown in a long pause, a knowing glance, a well-timed word, or just showing up without asking. Compatible signs in love. Virgo. With Virgo, you speak the same language, logic, loyalty, and long-term love. Together, you build something that isn't just romantic, it's real. Virgo sees through your stoic calm and offers you support without crowding your space. The two of you are capable of lasting decades, not just seasons. Pisces. This is an emotional alchemy that many might not expect. Pisces brings in dreams, intuition, and softness to your sometimes rigid world. And you? You give Pisces structure and security. It's the perfect example of opposites attracting in the best possible way, spiritual and practical merging into a quietly beautiful romance. Scorpio. Your connection with Scorpio is intense, passionate, and even karmic. You both understand what it means to hide vulnerability behind control. When trust is built, this pair becomes unbreakable. Power couple energy with a deep emotional undercurrent. Taurus. With Taurus, there's peace. No need to explain every move, no fear of sudden drama. Taurus offers you reliability, sensuality, and a calm that nourishes your often busy mind. This love builds slowly, but oh, how it lasts. In love, remember this, you deserve emotional intimacy as much as you desire practical loyalty. You are not too much. You are not too reserved. You are just waiting for someone worthy of your truth. Sex. Sex with a Capricorn born on January 16th is not just physical, it's a psychological dance, a spiritual ceremony, and a carefully choreographed storm of desire and control. You are the definition of still waters run deep. While you might not flirt openly or wear your desires on your sleeve, your passion is intense, exacting, and unforgettable. You don't give yourself to just anyone. You observe. You wait. You test the emotional temperature of your connection. And when the moment feels right, when trust is solid and the energy is real, you unleash. There's something undeniably magnetic about the way you carry yourself in intimate moments. You aren't flashy. You aren't rushed. You believe in pacing, in build-up, in anticipation. Your sexuality has a deliberate quality to it, like a great novel slowly revealing its most powerful chapter. You read your partner's body like a story, and you respond with precision and patience. Nothing is random with you. Every move has meaning. Once you feel emotionally safe, your sensual nature becomes profoundly generous. You often surprise your partners by how giving, intuitive, and focused you are. Your sense of control doesn't come from dominance, it comes from awareness. You don't guess. You know. You know when to speed up, when to pause, when to speak, and when silence says more than words ever could. For you, sex is emotional intelligence in motion. You are also highly attuned to energy. If something feels off, you can't fake it. You'll shut down rather than go through the motions. But when things click, when the emotional, mental, and physical connect, you become transformative. You don't just touch bodies. You touch psyches. You give your partner the rare feeling of being seen, understood, and consumed, all at once. With your Saturnian roots, there's also a desire for structure even in pleasure. You enjoy setting the stage, the lighting, the music, the mood. You're not here for chaos or rushed passion. You prefer intimacy that's intentional, grounded, and crafted like art. You might even have a strong appreciation for tradition or ritual in your erotic life. That doesn't mean you're boring. Quite the opposite. You can be wildly experimental once trust is earned, and your need for emotional connection can heighten your physical pleasure to near mystical levels. You tend to prefer long-term partners not only because of your values, but because sexual chemistry gets better over time for you. You thrive when you can explore a lover's body and mind in layers, slowly, carefully, with full presence. That's when your full power comes out. And yes, let's talk about control. Capricorn is ruled by Saturn, the cosmic authority figure. And in bed, you like to lead, not to overpower, but to curate. You might take the reins, guide the tempo, or gently orchestrate the experience. You enjoy partners who are responsive, intuitive, and open-minded, but not erratic. You need steadiness and depth. You're not here to entertain. You're here to connect. Your ideal sexual matches are people who can balance fire with depth. Scorpio can match your intensity and passion, sometimes taking things even deeper. Taurus offers you a sensual, grounded playground to explore. Virgo brings a precision and attentiveness that thrills your perfectionist streak. And Pisces may surprise you with a mystical connection that touches you on levels even you don't fully understand. You may not always initiate, but when you do, it means everything. And if someone is lucky enough to be let into your most intimate world, they'll never forget what it feels like to be truly wanted, held, and honored by someone who never gives anything halfway. Marriage. For someone born on January 16th, marriage is never entered lightly. It is a vow with depth, direction, and durability. This isn't about romance in the fleeting, cinematic sense. It's about building a shared empire, rooted in mutual respect, personal growth, and emotional stability. Your Capricorn nature, shaped by Saturn's discipline and wisdom, approaches lifelong commitment the same way an architect approaches the foundation of a cathedral, with vision, structure, and the intent to create something that stands through storms and centuries. You are not the type to be swept away by infatuation or dramatic declarations. Instead, you value the slow burn, the kind of love that evolves over time, that proves itself not with grand gestures but with consistency, kindness, and resilience. You seek a partner who understands that love is a daily practice, not a performance. Someone who values loyalty over luxury, depth over drama, substance over spectacle. Emotionally, you crave stability and alignment. You're naturally protective, and while you might not be traditionally sentimental, you express love through acts of devotion, providing security, supporting dreams, and showing up when it matters most. You may not fall quickly, but once you do, your commitment is unshakable. You'll work through difficulties with the same methodical patience you apply to your goals. To you, marriage is about growing together, not fixing each other. Many January 16th Capricorns marry later in life, or after a major internal awakening. You're self-aware enough to know what you can't live with, and you'll wait for the real thing rather than settle for comfort. You might even go through long single periods, not because you're cold or unreachable, but because your standards are rooted in something deeper than chemistry. You're looking for a partner in purpose, someone who walks beside you, not ahead, not behind, but in stride. You don't want constant attention. You want quiet reliability. You want a home that feels like a sanctuary, not a battleground. And above all, you want someone who understands that legacy isn't just wealth or children, it's the life you build together, the values you embody, the example you leave behind. With your Saturnian influence, you might have a guarded or pragmatic outlook on love early in life. But when the right person comes along, someone who earns your trust, respects your independence, and values long-term vision, you soften. You open. You love deeply, fully, without looking back. Your loyalty becomes your most sacred offering. Best signs for marriage: understand that love is earned, nurtured, and protected. Virgo is your ideal match in marriage. Both of you believe in hard work, personal accountability, and long-term planning. Virgo brings organization, empathy, and an attention to detail that makes the day-to-day of marriage run with quiet beauty. They see the heart behind your silence and bring emotional fluency where you offer structure. Taurus grounds you emotionally and physically. This is a sensual, steady, deeply comforting match. Taurus doesn't rush love, and neither do you. Together, you create a warm, rooted life, one of simple pleasures and quiet joys. There's something calming and sacred about a Capricorn-Taurus union. Cancer, though your zodiac opposite, can become a true emotional complement. Their intuitive, nurturing energy draws out your vulnerable side, while your strength provides the stability they crave. It's a dance of balance. When it works, it can be a beautifully healing relationship for both of you. Signs to avoid are not inherently wrong, but their energy may clash with your values or rhythm. Aries can be too impulsive, emotionally reactive, and driven by short-term excitement rather than steady vision. While you admire their boldness, their pace can feel reckless, and their decisions unpredictable. Gemini might intrigue you intellectually, but their scattered energy and frequent need for variety can frustrate your desire for consistency and follow-through. Their mind may be stimulating, but their lifestyle could feel destabilizing. The truth is, any sign can work with enough self-awareness and effort. But your best chance at marital harmony lies with someone who understands that marriage is not just a feeling, it's a project, a promise, and a legacy in motion. For you, love isn't just about the heart. It's about building a life that means something, and doing it with someone who sees the future the way you do, brick by brick, side by side. Friendship. As a Capricorn born on January 16th, you don't hand out the title of friend lightly. Friendship, to you, is earned, not assumed. You move through social circles like a quiet observer, always aware, always evaluating, always listening for signs of genuine character. You don't care about popularity or surface-level chatter. You're drawn to people who move with integrity, who share your values, and who can engage you in meaningful conversation. While you may come across as reserved or even distant at first, those who stick around long enough to understand your nature discover a rare and deeply loyal companion. You're not the friend who's constantly texting or tagging people online. You're the one who shows up when it counts. The one who listens more than speaks. The one who remembers the important dates, the quiet breakdowns, the small victories no one else noticed. You often become the emotional anchor in your friends' lives, not because you're emotionally effusive, but because your presence is calm, stable, and quietly powerful. Your friends know they can rely on you when things get serious. You don't offer empty sympathy, you offer solutions, honesty, and unwavering loyalty. Over time, you build a tight-knit circle that feels more like family than friends. These relationships aren't based on trends, shared hobbies, or social convenience, they're built on mutual respect and time-tested trust. You tend to attract deep thinkers, creatives, and other emotionally grounded souls who value realness over flash. Your best friendships often stretch across years, even decades, surviving distance and life's many phases because of the unspoken bond you nurture with quiet consistency. You're most compatible with friends who match your intensity in different ways. Pisces often brings emotional nuance and spiritual insight, which touches a part of you even you don't always understand. They soften your edges with compassion. Virgo is your mental equal, logical, grounded, and detail-oriented. Together, you make a brilliant team in life and problem-solving. And Scorpio, much like you, lives beneath the surface. They get your depth, respect your boundaries, and match your loyalty with a fierce protectiveness of their own. While you might not be the life of the party, you're always the backbone of the room. You're the strategist, the observer, the one who notices what no one else sees. Your friendships are few, but fierce. And once someone earns your trust, you will carry them through the fire without complaint. Business career. Born on January 16th, you are hardwired for leadership, though you rarely seek the spotlight for the sake of attention. Instead, you lead by example, through action, precision, and a commitment to excellence that makes you the person everyone quietly admires and, frankly, depends on. Your relationship with work isn't just practical, it's purposeful. You crave achievement not out of vanity, but because your soul needs to build something real. Something that lasts. You thrive in environments that reward long-term thinking, structure, and mastery. You're not the employee who's happy with just getting by, you want to know the system, understand it fully, and then improve it from within. Whether you're designing a product, managing a company, writing a novel, or solving a legal case, you approach your craft with the same seriousness a sculptor brings to marble. You're willing to sacrifice comfort today to create stability tomorrow. Your sense of timing is impeccable, you often see trends, challenges, and opportunities months or years ahead of others. Capricorns born on this date often excel in roles that require autonomy, responsibility, and vision. Think CEOs, strategists, lawyers, engineers, data analysts, or architects. Many also shine in creative professions, writers, designers, filmmakers, or composers, because your ability to bring structure to abstract ideas is unmatched. You don't just dream. You deliver. With your combination of artistic sensitivity thanks to your ruling numerological number 7 and Saturnian discipline, you're capable of producing work that's both meaningful and technically brilliant. Colleagues may underestimate you at first, especially if you're quiet or humble. But that never lasts. Your track record speaks for itself. You're the one who makes things happen behind the scenes, the one who can be trusted with difficult tasks, confidential information, or high-pressure moments. And once people recognize your value, you often become indispensable. You're not motivated solely by money, but let's be honest, you understand money. You know how to grow it, manage it, and invest it wisely. Financial stability is important to you, not as a symbol of status, but as a form of personal power and freedom. You're at your best when you're building towards something, a business, a brand, a portfolio, a legacy. Ultimately, your career isn't just about success. It's about impact. You don't want to be known just for what you've done, you want to be respected for how you did it, with integrity, strategy, and the kind of quiet power that doesn't demand applause but always earns it. Numerology, 16/7. If you were born on January 16th, your numerological path is guided by the powerful energy of the number 7, derived from the sum of 1 and 6. In numerology, 7 is regarded as the most mystical, introspective, and spiritually attuned of all single-digit numbers. It's not just a number, it's a calling. And for you, that calling is to seek truth, dig deeper, and live beyond the surface of ordinary life. While your Capricorn sun gives you the blueprint for building solid structures in the outer world, your numerology gifts you with inner depth that makes your wisdom feel timeless. You are a natural thinker, philosopher, and truth seeker. You don't take anything at face value. Whether it's a conversation, a relationship, or a business opportunity, your mind instinctively searches for the motive behind the moment. You are endlessly curious, not about the gossip of the day, but about the unseen mechanics of reality, the why that lives beneath everything. People often come to you for guidance, not just because you're logical, but because your insights feel intuitively right. Even when you don't speak, people can feel that you're processing the situation on a level they can't quite reach. This number also makes you naturally private and introspective. Solitude isn't a punishment for you, it's a sanctuary. You recharge by going inward, often needing time alone to reflect, read, create, or simply sit with your thoughts. Unlike more social or extroverted energies, you find peace in stillness. And in that stillness, your brilliance begins to glow. This tendency toward introspection can sometimes make you seem distant or aloof, but it's really just your way of staying aligned with your deeper self. You know that true power isn't loud, it's centered. The number 7 also brings with it a spiritual undertone, whether or not you consider yourself traditionally religious. You may be drawn to meditation, mysticism, metaphysics, or psychology. Anything that explores the soul's purpose or the mind's hidden patterns feels magnetic to you. You have a built-in BS detector, you sense when something is off or disingenuous. This makes you a master at cutting through pretense and getting to the heart of any matter. The number 16 itself, before being reduced, adds another layer of depth. It carries karmic significance, a symbol of inner awakening through challenge. Those with 16 in their chart often go through phases of life that require them to break down illusions, face truths they might not want to see, and rebuild from a more enlightened place. If your life has had periods of emotional intensity or sudden transformation, this is likely why. You're not meant to float along the surface, you're meant to dive into the deep and come back with treasure. Your greatest gifts as a 7 are your intuition, your intellectual sharpness, and your spiritual clarity. Your greatest challenge: learning to let people in, even when your instinct is to retreat. The more you embrace both the wisdom of solitude and the warmth of human connection, the more powerful and peaceful your life becomes. Druid Tree Horoscope, Elm. In the Celtic Druid Tree Horoscope, those born between January 12th and 24th are aligned with the noble and quietly commanding elm tree. The elm is not flashy. It doesn't shout. It doesn't bend easily. But it roots itself deeply, spreads its branches with purpose, and stands with silent strength even in the fiercest storms. That's you in a nutshell: strong, dignified, and quietly magnetic. Elm individuals are natural leaders, not by force or demand, but by presence. You may not always seek the throne, but others instinctively look to you when things become uncertain. In moments of chaos, you're the one who steps forward with calm logic, a level voice, and a plan. You have an innate sense of justice and structure, making you a protector of fairness and truth. If someone is being overlooked, you notice. If something is falling apart, you start sketching the blueprint to fix it. As an elm, you often feel older than your age, not in a tired way, but in a wise, steady, grounded way. People trust you. Not just because of what you say, but because of how you carry yourself. You don't blurt. You don't boast. When you speak, your words have weight. You often find yourself in roles where you advise, mentor, or lead others, even without seeking those roles out. There's a calm in you that others crave. A certainty in your step that makes people feel safer just being around you. Elms are also known for their commitment to values. You're not easily swayed by trends or external pressures. Once you know what you believe in, you stand by it, not with stubbornness, but with clarity. You're not here to impress. You're here to embody your principles and to help others find their footing when the ground shakes. Your guidance is always rooted in reality. You don't offer platitudes, you offer truth, even when it's hard to hear. But even with all this strength, the elm's soul often carries a private vulnerability, a tender place hidden deep beneath layers of logic and self-control. You may not let many people into that space, but when you do, it's a sacred connection. Your loyalty becomes unshakable, and your love is fierce in its quiet devotion. You value quality over quantity in relationships, just as the elm prefers deep roots over rapid growth. Ultimately, your elm essence makes you the kind of person others remember, not because you were the loudest in the room, but because you were the most rooted, real, and reliable. You are the living embodiment of strength through stillness, and grace through grounded wisdom. Flower Horoscope, Carnation. Your birth flower, the carnation, isn't just a symbol of beauty, it's a mirror of your soul. At first glance, carnations may appear modest compared to flashier blooms, but their true brilliance lies in their resilience, complexity, and emotional depth, much like you. People born on January 16th, under the steady Capricorn sun, carry a quiet strength. You may not demand attention, but when you bloom, in love, in life, in purpose, it's unforgettable. Just like the carnation, your presence is underestimated until it's deeply felt. Carnations represent devotion, not the fleeting kind, but the lifelong kind. The kind that endures winters and blooms anyway. You are not one to form shallow bonds. When you choose someone, as a friend, a partner, or a cause to fight for, you give them everything. Loyalty is not just part of your character, it's the language of your heart. But that loyalty isn't handed out easily. Like the petals of a carnation, your emotional world unfolds slowly, layer by layer, revealing beauty and depth over time. There's also an elegant individualism to the carnation, a proud, poised confidence that doesn't rely on trends or approval. That's you. You walk your path with quiet purpose, not because you need to prove something, but because you know who you are. Carnations thrive across climates and cultures, and you too are built for all seasons of life, adaptable yet rooted, sensitive yet strong. Your emotions don't sit on the surface, but when they rise, they are fierce, focused, and full of meaning. Carnations also symbolize fascination and distinction, two qualities that echo your inner world. You're curious by nature, always wanting to understand the deeper story, the why behind people and situations. You don't skim the surface, you dive in. And when others finally begin to see your depth, they realize just how rare you are. You're not interested in attention for attention's sake. You want to be recognized for who you truly are, someone of integrity, insight, and quiet emotional power. So if you ever wonder what flower best represents your energy, look no further than the carnation, durable, dignified, emotionally intricate, and unapologetically true to itself. That's your essence in bloom. Birthstone Stone Horoscope, Garnet. Your birthstone, the garnet, is more than a beautiful deep red gem, it's a symbol of the power that simmers beneath your calm, composed surface. Garnet has been cherished for centuries for its protective and energizing properties, and its alignment with your January 16th spirit is no coincidence. As a Capricorn, you're naturally grounded, thoughtful, and methodical. But garnet speaks to something deeper within you, the hidden fire, the emotional intensity, and the relentless passion that few people ever fully see. Garnet is often associated with protection, and it's no surprise that you're someone who feels the need to shield your inner world. Your emotions are private territory. You don't give your trust easily, and when you do, it comes with a quiet hope that the person on the other side will handle it with care. Garnet offers energetic support in this process. It acts like an emotional anchor, helping you stay centered while still opening up to the vulnerability that leads to true intimacy. This stone also symbolizes strength, not loud or aggressive strength, but the kind that endures hardship with grace. Just as you carry burdens others don't see, garnet reminds you of your ability to move forward with integrity, even when the road is steep. It enhances your willpower and fuels your drive to succeed, but more importantly, it helps balance your emotional body so that success doesn't come at the cost of your inner peace. At its core, garnet is a stone of passion. And you, whether you show it or not, are a deeply passionate being. You feel things intensely. You believe in building a life with purpose. You invest not just effort, but spirit, in what you do, whether it's a relationship, a goal, or a dream you've carried quietly for years. Garnet amplifies that passion while keeping it focused and sustainable. It's the perfect ally for your Capricorn ambition, turning vision into reality with a grounded, energized heart. In Vedic astrology, which looks beyond Western birthstones, other stones may be recommended depending on your planetary alignments. If Saturn plays a prominent role in your chart, as it often does for Capricorns, blue sapphire can help amplify Saturn's positive traits, discipline, endurance, wisdom, and integrity. Meanwhile, emerald, associated with Mercury, supports clarity of thought, communication, and mental focus, all areas where you naturally shine but can always sharpen further. Whichever stone you choose to work with, understand this: garnet and its companions don't just symbolize who you are, they support the full expression of your emotional strength, spiritual clarity, and hidden fire. You are not here to live small. And with the right grounding and energetic tools, your power becomes not only visible, but unstoppable. Vedic astrology, Makara Rashi/Uttarashada Nakshatra. In Vedic astrology, your soul's blueprint is revealed not just through your sun sign but through your nakshatra, the star constellation under which you were born. If your birthday falls on January 16th, your Vedic zodiac sign is almost certainly Makara Rashi Capricorn, and your nakshatra is most often Uttarashada, known as the universal star. This combination is incredibly potent. It speaks to a soul shaped by responsibility, legacy, and unwavering commitment to truth. You didn't come here to play small, you came here to finish something ancient, to carry out work that transcends personal ambition. Makara Rashi reflects the steady, determined energy of Capricorn, but within a Vedic framework, it's even more spiritually nuanced. It emphasizes not just external achievement, but dharma, right action, soul purpose. This is not a sign of shortcuts or spectacle. You are built for delayed gratification, for quiet mastery, and for the kind of progress that's measured in years, not days. Makara energy often feels older than its physical age, and even as a child, you may have carried an unusual sense of gravity, patience, or wisdom. People have always looked to you for structure, even when you were the youngest in the room. Now, pair that with Uttarashada Nakshatra, and your cosmic assignment becomes clearer. This nakshatra is ruled by the Vishvadevas, divine beings that represent universal principles like truth, justice, skill, willpower, leadership, and moral clarity. These aren't just spiritual buzzwords, they are the core themes of your life. You feel called to uphold standards, even when no one is watching. You instinctively recognize what's right and what's real, and you're not afraid to stand alone if it means protecting your values. Uttarashada natives are natural leaders, not because they seek power, but because they embody steadiness. Your leadership style isn't loud or flashy. It's rooted in quiet authority, the kind that earns respect over time. You carry karmic weight, often tasked with guiding others, building systems, or restoring balance where it's been lost. You may feel that your life is unusually burdened with responsibility or that you're constantly asked to step up. That's not a punishment. It's a reflection of the soul-level work you came here to complete. You're a closer, someone sent to resolve karma, finish cycles, and bring visions to maturity. But it's not all burden and duty. Uttarashada is also one of the most victorious nakshatras. Literally, its name translates to the later victory. This means that while your early life may require patience, discipline, and inner development, your true success comes later, often after your Saturn return around age 29 to 30. And when it comes, it lasts. You are destined for permanent achievements, for legacy-level impact, not fleeting wins. The key to living fully in your Vedic design is to embrace your inner warrior sage. Lead without ego. Build without rushing. Hold your moral compass even when it would be easier not to. And above all, remember that your path is not random, it's deeply soul-aligned, divinely timed, and written in the stars long before you arrived. Hidden talents. Your hidden talents are not just quirks or side skills, they're underrated superpowers that make you exceptional in ways most people won't see right away. They're the gifts that quietly shape your path, define your impact, and often emerge strongest when life tests you the most. People may notice your discipline or your work ethic, but it's these more subtle qualities that form the real core of your strength. Your first hidden talent is your emotional resilience. You don't break, you rebuild. Setbacks don't shatter you, they sculpt you. Others may crumble under pressure, but you absorb the lesson and rise stronger. Like a phoenix in tailored armor, you move through crisis with a calm others envy. Even in your darkest hours, you carry the capacity to self-regulate, recalibrate, and come back sharper, wiser, and more determined. This isn't learned behavior. It's built into your DNA. You also possess spiritual intuition that often surprises even you. Without needing to explain why, you just know things. You can sense the undercurrents in a room, detect deception in a sentence, or feel when someone is silently struggling. You're not dramatic or mystical about it, you simply see what others miss. This intuitive gift helps you make brilliant decisions, spot red flags early, and trust your inner voice even when logic tries to interfere. You may downplay this talent, but it's one of your most guiding lights in both personal and professional life. Another one of your rare gifts is creative leadership. You don't just manage, you inspire. You're a strategist who also thinks like an artist. You see patterns, systems, and human potential all at once. And you lead not by command, but by clarity and example. People naturally follow you, not because you demand obedience, but because your vision is magnetic and your standards are high. You bring order to chaos, momentum to stuck energy, and you do it all without sacrificing your authenticity. Lastly, your connection to financial mastery is deep and intuitive. Whether you were born into abundance or had to build it brick by brick, you understand the value of value. You don't waste money, time, or energy. You instinctively know how to invest wisely, save strategically, and build something sustainable. Even in lean times, you can stretch a dollar and multiply opportunities. Money isn't your god, but it's a tool you wield with quiet skill. These hidden talents are the engine behind your endurance, your impact, and your ability to thrive where others merely survive. They are not loud. They are not always seen. But they are undeniably yours, and when fully embraced, they turn your potential into power. Life challenges. For those born on January 16th, life is rarely a straight or smooth path. You often come into this world carrying a deep sense of responsibility, sometimes long before you fully understand what that word means. Maybe you were the one who had to act like an adult while still a child. Or maybe you felt the weight of expectations, spoken or unspoken, from family, society, or even your own inner standards. Emotional support may not have been abundant in your early years, which led you to develop emotional independence the hard way, through experience, solitude, and the necessity of holding yourself together when no one else could. These early hardships don't break you. They forge you. They shape your ability to stand tall in storms, to make rational decisions under emotional pressure, and to trust discipline over chaos. But the downside is that you may learn to rely too heavily on logic, structure, and strategy, ignoring your own emotional needs or spiritual instincts. You're strong, but at times, you forget that strength also means softness, the ability to receive, not just give. One of your lifelong challenges is learning to fully trust yourself, not just your intellect or work ethic, but your intuition, your emotions, your inner knowing. Because of your Saturnian energy, you often second-guess your gut or dismiss your feelings if they can't be justified logically. But the truth is, your inner voice is one of your greatest assets. When you ignore it, life becomes heavier, colder, more mechanical. When you honor it, you find balance, meaning, and even unexpected joy. Another core challenge for you is letting others truly see you. You may build strong walls, efficient ones, productive ones, but they can isolate you from the connection your soul craves. You don't easily ask for help. You rarely show vulnerability. But part of your spiritual growth is learning that strength doesn't mean silence. It means being honest with yourself and others about your needs, your fears, and your dreams. Your karma is tied not to perfection, but to integration. You are here to learn that success is hollow without peace, and that true wisdom comes from combining discipline with intuition, logic with feeling, and solitude with connection. Your early life may be defined by external expectations, but your later life, your real life, begins the moment you choose to define yourself from the inside out. Life purpose. Your life purpose as a January 16th Capricorn isn't just about building something impressive, it's about building something that lasts. You are a natural architect of dreams, ideas, and realities, not just because you're smart or driven, but because you understand that legacy matters. You're not here for instant gratification or fleeting fame. You're here to create a foundation that others can stand on, learn from, and evolve with. At the core of your soul's mission is the journey of mastery. Not just mastery over a craft or a business, but mastery over yourself, your impulses, your emotions, your inner fears. Life will test you, stretch you, and call you into your highest potential again and again. And each time, you respond with more insight, more clarity, more resilience. That's not by accident. It's your divine blueprint. You were designed to grow through effort, and to teach others not by telling them what to do, but by embodying what's possible when you live with integrity and purpose. You are here to teach by example, not in a classroom, but in life. When people see how you navigate hard choices, how you hold yourself accountable, how you rise without stepping on others, they learn. Your character becomes your curriculum. You might never even realize how many people you've impacted just by being consistent, loyal, and quietly excellent. And ultimately, you're here to leave a legacy. That legacy may be a business, a book, a philosophy, a family, a social contribution, or simply a way of living that inspires others to raise their standards. Your work ethic is a tool, not the goal. The real goal is to build something that outlives you, something that speaks long after you've left the room, the job, or even the earth. Your life purpose isn't flashy. It's not chaotic. It's deliberate, soulful, and built over time. And when you walk in alignment with that purpose, the world becomes a more stable, thoughtful, and enduring place, one brick, one word, one decision at a time. Final thoughts. Being born on January 16th isn't just a matter of astrology, it's a cosmic contract. A reminder that you were chosen for depth over distraction, for endurance over ease, and for truth over trend. You are the kind of person who carries the weight of legacy in your bones and the spark of future empires in your heart. You dream in blueprints. You love with purpose. And you lead in ways that change the rhythm of the room without ever needing to raise your voice. In love, you are loyal, layered, and deeply intuitive, the kind of partner who builds a relationship like a sanctuary, brick by brick. In friendship, you are the anchor, calm, unwavering, and quietly protective. In work, you are vision and structure combined, a strategist with a mystic soul. And in your inner world, you are always evolving, always searching for the next truth, the next level, the next step toward meaning. So don't be afraid to ask the bigger questions. Don't be afraid to be different, to move slower, to think deeper, to love harder. Because your path was never meant to look like anyone else's. You weren't born to follow trends. You were born to build what lasts, in others, in yourself, and in the world.